Selling name brand products like this one or this one on Amazon can make you thousands of dollars. But if you end up buying the wrong products, it can also end up costing you thousands of dollars. So in this video, we're going to look at some good products you can sell, and we're also going to look at some bad products that might appear to be good at first glance. And this is going to be super important, especially if you're new to selling on Amazon. You might fall for some of these if you're not sure what to look for. So let's jump into the examples here. And by the way, I sourced all of these products directly from the brand's website. A lot of times I was using like a coupon code or that kind of thing. At the end of this video, we'll find a profitable product together, but I want to show you a couple specific things that you should be on the lookout for in a good product, right? So here's the first product example I want to dive into with you. See, on SellerAmp, this sells 150 times a month, split between all the different colors and sizes here. We can also see that this is the same price as a lot of the other options here. So it's probably going to have a pretty similar share of how many of those sales it's getting. I was able to buy these for $18.50, and right now the price on Amazon is about $33.19. So this is a product that I personally would buy, and I want to look further into the data to show you exactly why. And so you can see down here on the charts feature, we can see the last 90 days, year, whatever you want to zoom out to here. Usually I like to look at the last 90 days of history there, and I'll make it a little bit bigger here so it's easier to see. You can see right here, recently the price has been almost as low as it typically ever likes to go at $33 or so. Not too long ago at all, it was selling for 38 bucks. It was 32 bucks there. It was like 29 here for a little while, but you can see on average that price is fairly high. And I can also see that on the average 30-day buy box. If I just check out the average price, I'm actually a lot more profitable than I normally am right now. And that's one of the biggest things, and why I wanted to start this video with this is, as much as possible, try to buy products that are profitable at the average prices, or maybe even typically they're more profitable than they are right now, assuming you don't have a big increase in the number of new sellers. Like you can see down here, see the last 3 months here, it's had a history of having 28 sellers and went down to 19. Now we're back to 24. So as long as there's no kind of other factors like the number of sellers going way up, so our price is likely to drop, that kind of stuff, that tells me that I can go ahead and pull the trigger on this, and it's going to be a relatively stable long-term item. And so if we compare that to example number 2, which we can get today for $5.50, we can sell it for 16. Seems like a great example of a product that we would want to buy. But the problem with this one is when we check out the charts here, when we compare it to that last item we were looking at, you see how the new offer count is just rapidly shooting up, and it just keeps shooting up. While that new seller count keeps going up, the price on this item is also going further down and down. Now there is some kind of seasonality to this. It could be that the price stays pretty stable with the holidays. I don't usually like to take gambles like that, just betting that the price will stay exactly where I want, even though the supply has gotten a lot higher. So if you ever see products where the supply is going way higher, or the price is like starting to drop a good amount like it has recently, or even worse, if the price hasn't dropped at all and there's a bunch of new sellers on the listing, it's just simple economics, that price is going to drop. And so let's take a look at example number 3, right? So this is, again, it was sourced directly from the brand's website here. Get these for 25 bucks. Right now they're selling for $65. And this is a good example of something that I want to show you, where a lot of people think that if Amazon is selling on a listing, so you can see on this listing how it has that big orange shaded bar, that shows me that Amazon has been on this product for quite a while here in this case. But I can see that buy box price line has very consistently been under Amazon's price. We can also see Amazon is above all the prices on the listing is currently right there. And when we dive in a little bit further on the buy box analysis, so whoever is winning the add to cart button on this listing, that's how you make most sales on Amazon. And it seems like Amazon has only hogged about 12% of the sales, whereas on some listings they might try to hog a lot more. It's kind of Amazon's playground, but there are a lot of items like this where you can come in, the price looks very stable, Amazon is not competing on this listing for whatever reason, and so we could go ahead and buy something like that, right? Compare that to an item like this, where even though the price is profitable right now, we could sell it for $52, that kind of thing. If I look at the charts right here, I can see that there's a lot less time over the last 3 months here where that buy box price chart has been below Amazon's price, where Amazon's actually going to share sales with us as third-party sellers. And you can also see that down here in the buy box analysis, right? So like as of an hour ago, the sales are being won by Amazon, right? This one isn't too bad of an example. This is something that I would probably recommend staying away from if you're a beginner, if you see Amazon on that buy box, especially recently. Something like this, I can see that a third-party seller just made a sale. So maybe you could take the gamble, but especially on items where you see Amazon hogging a crazy amount of those sales, it's just one of those things that isn't worth the risk. Or if it does have a large risk of Amazon being on there and hogging all the sales, you need to make sure that the profit is way better than average to compensate for that. So for me on shoes, my bare minimum is about 40% so that I can make money after returns and all that kind of stuff. This is only a 44% ROI, and we're already running the risk that Amazon's going to hog all the sales on the listing. This would probably be something I'd skip. Compare that to a product like this, where a lot more people at first glance would probably say, hey, I need to skip this product because it doesn't know how fast it's selling the product, or the best sellers rank is unknown. So this actually happens when Amazon has issues sharing that data with tools like SellerAmp, and this doesn't doesn't mean that product doesn't sell, right? And there's another problem with this listing that some people might run away from, and that there's a indicator that there could be some IP concerns on this product, right? So the brand might not want us selling on this listing, but don't let that be the end all be all. Some brands, when they police the listings on Amazon, they pay very close attention to some listings and they just let a lot of the other listings run wild. So let's address both of those issues, and I'll show you why neither of those are too big of an issue, because I was able to find these at the Funko website for $7.50 and we can make a pretty good profit here, right? So the reason why we know this product is actually selling is a couple things, right? So we can see the offer count on this product has been dropping pretty significantly over the last 90 days here. There's been a couple recent sellers hopping on this listing, but you can see 90 days ago there was 14, and then it went all the way down to 6. So 8 people were able to sell on a listing where a lot of people might look at and, oh, it doesn't sell at all, right? Another thing we can look at is the review count right here. Obviously, if people are leaving reviews, then that product is selling. And we've gone from 3 reviews in July now to recently we have 14 reviews on this product, right? And the rate at which people leave reviews on Amazon is super, super low. I don't know about you, but I basically never leave ratings unless probably something goes bad. That's when you probably end up leaving ratings. But every time you see a rating increase on one of these listings right here, that means that product in my mind has sold at least 20 to 25 times. That's being pretty conservative. It's probably sold more than that. And I can also see that this buy box price line has been jumping all around here, especially here in this little patch. And I typically see that on listings where the sales are rotating relatively quickly between a lot of different sellers. Amazon's basically almost having trouble figuring out which seller is going to be able to get it to the customer on time, because it's just rotating between everyone and trying to figure out who can get that product shipped out, basically. So if you ever see that buy box price chart jumping up and down like that, that's also another good sign and something I like to look for that shows me that Amazon is assigning the buy box to lots of different people, even though this price might be literally $4 higher here. Amazon was hopping that buy box price back and forth. It shows me that there's a pretty good amount of demand on this listing. And then as far as the IP issues are concerned, if you're ever worried about getting IP complaints and stuff, just zoom out to the 1-year view, see if there's ever been a history of the Amazon listing having a bunch of new sellers getting kicked off all at once. On this listing, I only see sellers selling out, sellers gradually stocking back in, maybe when a sale came back around, something like that. And even on the all-time view, which seems like this listing's probably about a year old, we're getting basically the same data there. I'm not seeing any history of Amazon kicking people off this listing. If you're not sure and you're about to buy a new brand for the first time, just go ahead and search for a couple other products in that same brand, so Funko Pops, that kind of thing. See if there's people getting kicked off on several of those other listings. And if not, then go ahead and pull the trigger and buy that item. So this next product example is something that I see Amazon sellers fall for pretty often, especially when they're new. We can get this for 26 bucks. It's selling for $53 today. Looks pretty decent at first glance. It's definitely a fast moving item, but the issue with this is actually the data from when I first looked at it and was thinking about buying this product. And it was right about back here, right? So back here on the chart, we can see how that price point hadn't really yet reacted to the fact that right here it was 2 new sellers on the listing right down there. And then that price had only changed by what, $5 or $6? Yeah, about $6 after the number of sellers on the listing had gone from 2 to 14. So the supply on this listing went 7x and the price only dropped by $6. So in my mind, there hadn't quite been that equilibrium moment where the supply and the demand met and figured out what price they actually want to be at. And that's exactly what happened in this listing, right? So you can see new sellers kept hopping on, the price dropped, and then Amazon also hopped on. Like they had a strong history of selling especially every single month where it's been cold recently. You can see back here in last October, they were on the listing a bunch. During December, they were on the listing a bunch. And that same kind of pattern repeated itself. So we had a couple issues, right? So Amazon had a strong history of selling it, and the number of sellers going up hadn't really changed the price as much as it should have yet. So if I would have bought this for 26 bucks, I would not be super happy because now it's 41 bucks. I'm competing with Amazon. There's no way I'm making money on a 2% ROI item that's going to get a couple returns just because it's in the clothing category. And so that takes me on to this last example. And we're also going to use this last example to find some more profitable winning items, right? So I found these for $5.50 for 2 of them right here. Sells 80 times a month, and we can make, a pretty decent profit selling something like this, right? We can also see that the price on this item has stayed very stable. Even looks like recently that sales rank has started to get a little bit faster, which makes sense. I think it's a little bit of a holiday scent kind of thing. I guess it's a home sweet home, so not too much. People like candles around the colder months a lot more often. And so this is something that price has been pretty stable, seller count's been pretty stable, and now the demand is also increasing. So it's something I'm not super worried about pulling the trigger on. And we can actually use this to find our next profitable item. And so if you don't know how to source profitable products, look at everything we've been looking at here. This is going to be super useful, right? So what I want to do is so you can start from any of the profitable products we were looking at here today. Go down to the offers tab on SellerAmp, and then I just open up any of the sellers who are already on this brand where I know that I can get it profitably. And so what I'm looking for on this individual storefront is I'll just go ahead and filter down specifically to the brand that I know is already on sale. And then I need to ask myself, is this max cost reasonable? Can I buy this this item for this price? If so, I'm probably going to be making some money, right? So I'm not sure what the price on these are. And so let's go ahead and figure it out. So these right here, looks like a lot of these little melts are like $5.50 each. So that's good to know. Another thing to note is today I was able to use a free Chrome extension called Capital One Shopping to find this coupon code that's been giving me 50% on some name brand stuff. And so if I see anything that's at full price right here, I know I can get 50% off. So in this case, I can get 2 of those for $5.50. I need to buy those for $4.18. And I can see a little bit of history on the price chart over here. I can see how that price is just consistently dropping down and down. I probably don't want to hop on something like that. Something like this, we are a lot closer though. So let's check and see if these are maybe any profit at $5.50. So we're able to sell these for $15.54. Plugging that $5.50 buy cost in here. My ROI is good. My profit's not quite as high as I typically like to look for. I can see, it looks like the sales rank is actually increasing lately. Let's see. So that buy box price chart is hopping up and down a little bit, but it's mostly hopping from like 14 to 16, and it's just not quite there, right? So even if I'm able to get some sales at 16, maybe I can make a little bit of profit, but I want to find a better example for the video with you guys. That's not the worst item in the world, but we can definitely find something better. So a lot of these, the max cost on these is just a little bit too low to be realistic. So I'm going to keep skipping past these. We haven't checked these out yet though. So this clean cotton spray, let's check these out and see if these are any good. So we need to get these for about $4 each. Quickly able to Google search those there. So yeah, concentrated room spray. Let's make sure it's the same. Yeah, so maybe like a different color, but it seems like it's the exact same thing. Basically, whenever you see stuff that's like slightly different, just ask yourself, like, would I be happy if I received what I'm about to send to Amazon as a customer, basically, right? So in this case, I'd be fine. It's basically just a different color bottle. And these are actually $8. So I can show you that coupon there. So you can see that we can actually get these for about half price. And I wonder if we might be onto something with this spray here. And there you go. I was able to get that coupon so we can get these for $40. I think it's like a buy one, get one on some of this stuff. So as long as I'm buying stuff that's the same price, it shouldn't have any issues stacking there for me. And then let's also go ahead and check out the average prices on this. So right now I know we can get these for 12, like very close, but let's see. So like the average buy box on the last 30 days is pretty profitable. Last 90 days is also pretty profitable. It's like just below my typical ROI that I like to look for. Let's see. So yeah, it's got a good history of selling for $24 for a while, then 28. Now the price has been jumping up and down. Today the price, it looks like it's jumping between $28 and $24. So this is actually fine. I like listings like this because I can then go in and set my minimum price on these at $27. I only make the higher price sales and I let other people make the sales when it is $24 there. So those aren't too bad. The other thing I'm seeing here on SellerAmp is telling me that it's on the dangerous goods program, which you can get approved to sell. If you're not already on the wait list, you can get on the wait list on your Seller Central account. Just search like hazmat at the top. And then a good hack to get up the wait list is to sell some of these merchant fulfilled. Obviously don't break any USPS, UPS laws, that kind of stuff. Something like this, we could cheat our way up the wait list there. So these aren't too bad, especially if you can already sell hazmat. That'd be something I'd probably pull the trigger on. How fast do they sell? A few hundred times a month. We got some different sizes here. So I'd probably buy, I would say 30 to 60 cans of that, throw them together in those 3-packs. So I have 10 to 20 units total to test out. Let's see if we can find another quick example here though. And so on this storefront, I was running out of products there for us to check out. This is also a good example. You can just use this to explore. I've never heard of this Guardhouse brand before. Seems like it's maybe like for coin collecting or something like that. Yeah. So as you're looking through these storefronts, use this to introduce yourself to new brands that you might be able to sell as well. For the sake of example, I want to find maybe one more of these candle products here, but don't feel like you have to be, super limited on that kind of stuff. Use this to figure out like which other brands other people are having success on. Like I think here I've sold, I want to say every single one of those brands. Lots of opportunity there. See, we haven't checked out these yet. That price looks profitable to me. We can check that out as well. So let's see. So $7.50 on these guys. And then on Amazon, these are 6. Yeah. So 26 for 4 of them. Let's see if we can get that buy one, get one coupon on here. It's not quite there. Let's just quickly check and see. Yeah. The number of new sellers is also spiking recently. By the way, on any of these listings that we see that have variations and stuff, the monthly sold graph on the middle of SellerAmp right there, that shows you the variation specific sales. So if you're ever unsure like which specific variation is actually selling. So for example, this variation, we got 600 sales a month on all the different scents and stuff. This one has at least 50 of those sales every month. So just a quick little example there for you. Let's see something like this. Yeah, I think we may have actually seen this one before here like a month or two ago on the channel, but it looks like it's still profitable. 2 for 36 right there. The current price on Amazon of these is $41. We can buy these for 18. Sells 370 times a month. There's no variations or anything like that it's being split between. So that would be probably another winning product. You go ahead and hop on there. So you can see how it works, right? You find a decent sale, a decent coupon to source based on, just start digging into what people are selling, and then use what we talked about at the beginning of the video to make sure you're not falling into super common traps or anything like that. And if you're ready to start finding products or you're not already using SellerAmp, which is the best Amazon product research tool, make sure you check out a 2-week free trial. Starts at $20 a month. So it's super affordable and it's basically the Swiss Army knife that your business needs to start finding products. But I really hope you guys got a ton of value out of today's video. Let me know down below if you have any questions, comments. Let me know if you disagree with me on any of those products. I'd love to hear your thoughts there down below. If you want to help us out for sharing some value with your business today, please feel free to hit that subscribe button. But we really appreciate you watching this video, and I will see you next time.